A warm, wonderful welcome. My name is Victor Zammit. I'm a retired attorney. I have been investigating the afterlife now, using scientific method, for over 20 years. In this time, I've come across some objections about the evidence for the afterlife. So, in the given time, I'll be dealing with the major objections for the afterlife. The first objection is, obviously, there is no evidence for the afterlife. Wrong. Why? We've had afterlife evidence for over 150 years. I myself have put this book out. It's called A Lawyer Presents the Case for the Afterlife. Now, I've included some 22 different areas of afterlife evidence, including materialization, instrumental transcommunication, you have near-death experiences, the skull experiments, you have psychic laboratory experiments, the scientific observation of mediums, direct voice mediumship, and the cross correspondences, very important afterlife evidence. Remote viewing, apparitions, the Ouija board, xenoglossy, reincarnation, and even quantum physics and the afterlife. So, for the first objection, it's overwhelmingly overruled. The second objection is, even if there is evidence for the afterlife doesn't exist. Now, that is inadmissible, because that objection is based on an assumption. And in professional debate, you cannot submit an objection based on an assumption. Nobody, no one, has ever, no scientist, no materialist, no closed-minded skeptic, nobody has ever written a book saying there is no afterlife or there cannot be an afterlife. You will not get one book in any library in the world today that there is no such thing as an afterlife. By contrast, there are thousands of books written about the afterlife. Many of these books have been written by scientists, some of the most intelligent scientists who ever walked on this planet Earth. So, for the second objection, it is totally irrelevant, immaterial, and inadmissible. Objection number 3, they tell me, Victor, your evidence for materialization we don't accept. Now, materialization is extremely important because it is the most persuasive, most convincing, most powerful evidence we have for the existence of the afterlife on planet Earth today. We also say, those who investigate the afterlife, that communicating with entities who come through materialization is the greatest discovery in human history. Why? Because when we're at the seance, when we're at the meeting, when we are at the experiment, we converse with these entities from the afterlife. We shake hands with them even. Some loved ones even embrace each other. And it's quite spectacular to be communicating with entities from the afterlife. We had scientists sitting with us and who tell us to confirm, yes, this evidence is spectacular. Further, when there were a couple of objectors in the past who raised some doubt about it, I said, okay, I'm offering you $500,000, $500,000 to put up or shut up. Come over and tell us where the fraud is, why the evidence is not right. We have professionals with us, professional lawyers, professional psychologists, experts in scientific method. We know what we're doing. So, for the third objection is totally irrelevant and immaterial. Okay. Objection number 4. Science does not accept the afterlife. Wrong. Because when you say science, one has to understand that on the one hand we have the reductionist, conservative, materialist scientists who are closed-minded scientists. And they'll never accept anything to do with the paranormal or the afterlife. They are closed-minded. But they are closed-minded not because they're scientists, because they themselves are closed-minded. Now, they could be accountants, they could be surveyors, they could be lawyers or anything else. They'd still be closed-minded skeptics. However, balanced against this, we have those highly intelligent scientists who, after investigating the afterlife, using their scientific method, conceded. They said, yes, it works, it's real. Yes, we know there is an afterlife. So, for the fourth objection, it is inevitably inadmissible. Now, we come to the fifth objection, that there is no afterlife because super ESP explains everything. Now, you may say, what is the super ESP? Some academics believe there is some kind of a giant cosmic tape recorder somewhere in the sky there somewhere, which records every thought, word, and deed. Everything we do on planet Earth, it's there, it's recorded. And when gifted mediums say, well, we're communicating with loved ones, with the afterlife, these people say, no, you're not. You're making contact with this cosmic tape recorder. That is not true. And the killer experiment, which totally demolishes this super ESP hypothesis, is materialization, as I said earlier. Because that completely negates the theory that the knowledge is up there. When we are in a materialization experiment, at the time we are conversing with afterlife intelligences. Information which hasn't taken place, right? We are getting information directly from those who come from the afterlife. So, this objection is overwhelmingly overruled. I will give you in one moment the URL to access my book. No charge at all. You can read all the evidence there. Also, I would like you to subscribe to my weekly newsletter. I have been putting out a newsletter on the internet for the last 10 years every week, without fail. Until next time, this is Victor Zammit.